Hello and welcome to you from Cairo, Egypt. I am standing right by the Nile River up here, and you can see the people driving down by the Nile River about 1 mile from Tahrir Square. This video is to let you know about my experience today at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. We got to the museum. There was 75 pounds to get in. And then, of course, the guy at the window says, hey, I don't have exact change. You got change? I don't have change. So he's looking for a tip. He wants somebody to say, hey, why don't you keep the change? I'm like, no, where's my change? I don't have exact change. I got 100 pounds. Price is 75. Give me back 25. Finally, he gets upset, and he gives me back my 25 pounds. I turn around, and without even time to take a look at the outside of the museum, I have a guy that comes up to me. He says, hey, I'll be your guide while we go on a tour of the museum. Well, I am with somebody else, and we were not sure if we wanted a guide yet. We wanted to go inside and take a look. So we go inside. Nobody smiles at you. Everybody looks at you like, what? Your ticket. So I'm like, okay. I'm used to, people being polite and welcoming you to the museum, handing you a pamphlet, explaining about how to go around the museum. You're basically ignored when you go into the museum. So the guide follows me into the museum. He's like, hey, you need a guide? I'm like, I don't know yet. Let me go with my friend. We'll look around a little bit. So we go around, we go in and we take a left. And we look at a couple of items. This is a museum with over 1 million artifacts. Let me tell you something. One in 1,000 items has a piece of paper next to it that describes what you're looking at. And if you walk into a room and there's, let's say, whatever, I don't even know how many, but let's say that 3 items have a piece of paper that describes what it is. One might be in Arabic. You might go down to a couple more items. It might be in French and Arabic. And you might find one that's half in English. So you have no idea what you're looking at, except for what period of history you're in the museum. Then the guide comes up to me again and he says, hey, you need me or you're not going to know what you're looking at. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. So he goes, I forget what he said, 120 pounds, Egyptian pounds, 7 pounds for $1. So the person I'm traveling with is not interested in the guide because he's sick of people being pushy. Everybody go, buy, buy, buy. We love America. We love America. Buy, buy, buy. Come to my store. Come to my store. So we're a little tired of that. But I'm like, I want a guide. For me, it was money well spent. So I go with the guide. We go around different periods of the museum through the King Tut history. He explains all the artifacts. I go see the King Tut tomb. We go around, we look at a few items. He goes, okay, this part of the tour is finished. If you want to go on another part of the tour, you have to pay for another part of the tour. I'm like, what? You told me, you gave me a price for a tour, and now you tell me the tour is over, and if I want to, see the rest of the museum, I have to pay for you to be my guide again? He's like, yeah, for 1 hour is this price, for half an hour is this price. So I said, you know what? I need to calm down because I'm a little upset about the bait and switch. Where everywhere I go, there's a bait and switch here. The people love Americans, but they want to take advantage of you at the same time. So you have to find out where to draw the fine line. So I said, you know what? Take me to the coffee shop, the cafe. I want to have a Pepsi. I go to get a Pepsi. The guy goes, 25 pounds. I say, hey, keep your Pepsi. I want to go back and finish the tour. I tell the guy, fine, just give me a half an hour tour. So this is the crux of why I'm making this video. If you are going to go to the Egyptian Museum in Cairo by Tahrir Square, my suggestion to you is to study before you get there, so you know what you're looking at. Because you're only going to get a limited tour. Lucky for me is, or whatever, it's 4 weeks since the second revolution. I have my own personal guide. Sometimes if you want to go in to see the King Tut tombs, it's a 45-minute wait just to get into the room. When I went in there, there's 2 other people in there. That was it. So I'm here doing living history at a very unique time. But if you come here and you're going to have, it might be different when you get here. What I'm saying to you is go on the internet, study the museum before you go there, so you have an idea of what you're looking at, and obtain the knowledge. If you go there like I did, just walk in with very limited information about what you're going to see. I mean, I knew about the King Tut and the Rosetta Stone copy, some of the things I knew about, but I didn't know that. Like, I'm used to museums in America where everything is explained to you and you know exactly what you're looking at. You're not going to get that here. Tomorrow I'm going to go to the Coptic section. I guarantee you the museum there is going to be 100 times more organized and friendlier than what the experience that I just had. So this is like a warning to you. If you go to the Egyptian Museum in Cairo by Tahrir Square, know what you're going to see before you go there, or you're going to be walking around totally blind. There's pieces of paper that are so old that they're yellow. They turn yellow. Maybe the British helped them with the museum, 50 years ago. It is not maintained well. It's not updated well. It was not a pleasant experience at all. And I'm not saying it's not anything personal about Egyptians or whatever. This was my experience. It wasn't a pleasant one, but I'm glad I went. Take it for what it is. See ya.